How I Healed My Addictions Naturally and How You Can Too. A Practical Guide to Healing Your Past and Living the Life You Want. Written by Chelsea Hyland. This audiobook is read by Chelsea Hyland. Dear reader, your life path is about to unfold perfectly before you. I do not know what brought you to this book, but I'm thrilled you found it. You will be reminded of the power within you and the worthiness of who you are. Within you lies everything you could ever dream of. Know that you are deserving of love, joy, fulfillment, growth, and clarity, and you will find it. You are destined to experience freedom and peace. You are a magnificent being who is so loved. Know that there is light and love at the end of the tunnel. Let's get you to where you want to be. Love, Chelsea. Chapter 1. The purpose of this book. The purpose of this book is to let you, the reader, know that you are not alone and there is a way out. I want to tell you that you can change. I am living proof. You are not a static being. You are a dynamic, ever-growing and evolving human. It doesn't matter where you are, only where you want to go from here. Because I am a teacher and uplifter. At the core of my being, I am here to remind you of who you are. The feelings of confusion, disempowerment, depression, anxiety, and powerlessness will soon subside. You will learn how to get your power back. I will teach you how I did, and it is my belief that you can do it too. Each chapter is short and straightforward so that you can take the information and digest it one small chunk at a time. All things are possible. That is what I want to teach you throughout this book. You will be exposed to information that you most likely never have heard before, and the results I achieved prove that it works. That's why I strongly suggest you read with open eyes and think with an open mind. It is my hope that you will come to know the truth when you read this book and realize that you can have, be, or do anything you desire. I've always been told that alcoholism and drug addiction are hereditary, and that this desire to use these substances is a disease and that people, quote, suffer from and are powerless to. I don't believe that's true. Sure, genetics play a role in one's physical appearance and whatnot, but not to the extent that they solely determine the likelihood of developing an addiction. Just as a side note, several people on both sides of my family, both my mom's side and my dad's side, they have had severe alcoholism. I have zero temptation. However, I used to crave alcohol. I used to drink warm beers on a Monday morning. I know what it's like, okay? And I want to tell you that, like I said, genetics, sure, they may play a small role, but if you choose to allow that to cripple you and you have a victim mentality of it's genetic, then you will stay stuck. And I want to tell you from someone who's done it, who's gotten out of the addiction, you're listening right now to someone who has done it. I want to tell you that it's possible, it's permanent, it's easy, it's effortless, it's simple, okay? I'll get back to the book now. What I learned on my journey to self-recovery was that I am responsible for my life. I am the one making decisions and taking action, not somebody else. Naturally, there is no one else to blame but me when things go wrong. Before I go on, I want you to understand that you have the power and can realize it just as I did. There are various factors that helped me recover from my addiction and eating disorder, such as changing my worldview and paradigms, how I viewed myself, and who I wanted to be in this ever-evolving world. In this book, I will share the easy-to-follow steps that I took to get my physical health back on track, such as the foods I ate and what changes I made to my mindset and the worldview. These are the changes that are necessary. And these two components are equally valuable and have transformed my life in an almost fairy tale-like story. After all, I see my story as proof that it is not true that we are powerless beings governed solely by our genetic makeup. Since, quote, recovering from my alcohol addiction, I have been around alcohol several times and have no desire or urge to have a drink. Sure, at times I have a sip or two of wine, but there's zero craving for more. I'm not pushed over the edge again, no psychological desire anymore to self-soothe with external substances of any kind. So why do people drink alcohol or take drugs or engage in any addictive behavior for that matter? It's because they want to feel better. Said another way, people want to feel in alignment with who they really are, without all of the self-limiting beliefs and the harsh, overly critical inner monologues and chatter that play over and over in their heads. Now, the trick is to teach yourself how to be in alignment and feel good at a moment's notice. This is what needs to be taught in schools, but it's not. That's why I'm sharing it with you in this book, and I hope you will share it with your loved ones when you see how it transforms your life. Chapter 2, Where It All Began. From a very young age, I had the very interesting journey of experiencing a lot of life contrast. When I say life contrast, I mean a wide variety of life experience. My parents divorced when I was about 3 years old, and the court ordered that I was supposed to spend 2 years in San Diego with my mom and then 2 years in Vancouver, BC with my dad. I moved back and forth between the US and Canada throughout most of my childhood. Airports and airplanes became the third home for me. Because of this constant moving, life seemed to be quite unpredictable. I couldn't sustain friendships with my classmates, and I felt like I never really fit in. Although I became very good at making new friends, throughout my childhood, I yearned for stability, predictability, and consistency. However, looking back now, I am incredibly grateful for my experience because it blessed me with the experiencing of emotional distress early on in life when I had some leeway. When I say leeway, I mean living with my parents, being a young child, and not having any kind of major responsibilities. Rather than experiencing that distress as an adult, let's say if I had kids and a mortgage and a partner, real responsibilities. Coping as an adult would have been a lot more difficult for me. Knowing what I don't want helped me to know what I do want. So this experience certainly contributed to my current life ambition, dreams, and goals. From ages 4 to 13, I spent a lot of time attending counseling sessions with therapists. I think my parents felt that their divorce and their constant moving between countries could have a huge impact on my emotional development and my life as a whole. What I have learned is that there is a lot of value in experiencing hardship at an early age. And I want to emphasize that. That way, one is able to discover early on what is wanted or not, and then have the rest of their life to create more of what is wanted. As a teenager, at the age of 14, I began dating boys, going to parties, and experimenting with drugs and alcohol. Emotionally, I developed depression and anxiety and a debilitating eating disorder, anorexia and bulimia. I wanted to heal the emotional pain and empty space I felt in my heart. I remember that I never knew why I felt so sad, but I knew that I just didn't feel right. I knew that one day I would get the chance to share my story and help others. Back then, however, in the depths of my own disempowerment and suffering, it felt like a dark tunnel of lonely pain. It was very painful and very lonely to the point of almost being unbearable. Throughout my teenage years, I attempted to soothe my pain with alcohol, cocaine, cigarettes, prescription pills, and my eating disorder. When I was 18, I started outpatient therapy for my drug and alcohol addiction and eating disorder. These experiences really have tested my self-efficacy and the belief that I have in myself, ever overshadowed by feelings of unworthiness, low self-esteem, and inadequacy. I was using my past circumstances and life situation as my excuse to hold myself apart from who I really am. I was using my past as an excuse to not feel good. I didn't understand that everything is energy. I am a vibrational being, and this is a vibrational universe. I didn't understand that everything is created with love and by love. When I say vibrational being, what I mean is at the molecular level, at the cellular level, everything in the universe is vibration. This is simply physics, so naturally the human body would also be vibration while living on this planet. Chapter 3, Rock Bottom, When I Knew I Had to Change. I was 17 years old when I hit rock bottom. I was jobless, depressed, and overcome with self-hate. I stole money from my dad's wallet to buy cocaine, eager for the next Friday night so I could sniff more lines with my friends and drink more beer and vodka than my body could handle. I had an insatiable appetite for drugs and alcohol. I felt as though I could never have enough. I always wanted more. I wanted to escape myself. I wanted to escape the world. After a night of drinking, I would binge on all sorts of junk foods, such as bags of ketchup chips. We have those in Canada. Burgers, Ben & Jerry's ice cream, French fries, just to purge it all back up. One of the eating disorders I had was bulimia. Sometimes I would binge and purge several times in one night. I was also on a variety of medications prescribed by different doctors, such as antidepressant medication called Prozac, otherwise known as fluoxetine, and modafinil, which was intended to help me with my cocaine cravings and withdrawal symptoms, which never even worked to begin with. For example, right after waking up in the morning, I would feel depressed, then take a pill, and then feel even more depressed that I had to take a pill to feel better. So I believed that I was powerless to my addiction and my so-called addictive personality. And because of that strong belief, I acted accordingly. More drugs, more alcohol, more binging and purging. It was a vicious cycle. The beliefs you hold create your expectations, which create your experiences. At that time, the expectation I had of myself was very low. Therefore, the results of my actions proved that, and I chose to continue beating the drum of disempowerment coupled with the desire to take external substances to feel better about myself and life in general. Now, at that time, I attended a fashion merchandising course at a local community college and would leave in the middle of class to go to the women's bathroom to sniff a line of cocaine. Then, after my evening class, I would go out with friends to a nearby party. The following morning, I would walk into the kitchen to say good morning to my dad, and just by looking at his face, I knew that he knew what I had been up to. I felt so ashamed of myself, yet he still gave me the warmest and most loving hug a father could ever give to his daughter. I remember feeling like a fraud. I knew he expected more of me. Heck, I expected more of myself. And I thought about my siblings who would one day grow older and look back at the time when their sisters smoked and did drugs. I wanted them to be proud of me, and I wanted to feel proud of myself. This was really the rock bottom that I needed. I was broke in all ways, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. I felt so out of alignment with who I really was, and I knew there had to be more to life. This is when I decided that this cycle of drunken nights and the awful feeling mornings of suicidal hangovers had to stop. I just couldn't let this continue another day. How I began to believe in myself again. My dad had the courage to really see me and my potential. He saw me at my lowest, doing drugs, stealing his money, and smoking cigarettes in the backyard while drunk. When I think of it now, I'm absolutely embarrassed, and yet he never gave up on me. This really facilitated my healing because I saw in his eyes the belief he had in me, even at my worst. This is why it is so important to surround ourselves with people who don't just hope for our well-being, but who know that this well-being is already ours for the taking. Chapter 4, When It All Changed. I began therapy because my dad told me that the only way I could live at home was if I attended an outpatient treatment for my drug and alcohol addiction and eating disorder, labeled as a quote, concurrent disorder. In addition to the individual therapy sessions focused on drugs and alcohol, I also attended group therapy once a week for eating disorders. At the group therapy, I met other young women my age and moms who were addicted to laxatives and wouldn't eat dinner with their husbands, wondering why. I thought to myself, wow, these women are so much older than I am, and yet they still have these eating disorders? So initially, my treatment started out to be very conventional. I did CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, and DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, which are basically ways to analyze your thoughts. Those therapies taught me how to label my feelings and emotions because I never learned what my emotions really were. I never knew how to properly label or express my emotions. In that regard, CBT and DBT were very helpful, but I remember still feeling extremely powerless and hopeless. At that time, I thought that if I wanted to heal my addictions, if I wanted to be well, I would need to attend therapy for the rest of my life. That's what they were telling me, at least. Did you notice that even the titles of those types of therapy are only focused on the problem, not the solution? I believe that what we focus on expands, and I see the manifestation of that right now as I write this book. This therapy is called drug and alcohol treatment. So, what pictures pop into your head when you read this? Drugs and alcohol, and maybe a therapist sitting in a chair. If the therapy was called peace and love treatment instead, the mental picture of hearts and doves or something of that nature would enter the mind and be at the forefront of one's thoughts. Medical professionals wonder why these addictions keep occurring without realizing the fundamental causes of them, namely, addicts' habitual thought patterns and coming to terms with the fact that they become what they think about. If someone is thinking about addiction therapy, they are thinking about addiction. If someone focuses on alignment and love instead, they are seeing completely different pictures in their mind. These positive visual images will raise their vibration instantly, leaving no desire for anything from the outside world to make them feel better. This is simply so because they already feel better just by changing their thoughts. After years of attending therapy 3 times a week and group treatment therapy with other women experiencing eating disorders, I enrolled in a community college in Vancouver, BC, specializing in addiction counseling. It was a 2-year certification course with a practicum at the end. That gave me the opportunity to work with other women who were in their particular recovery facility, recovering from all sorts of addictions, from meth, cocaine, alcohol, sex, gambling, food, heroin, prescription pills, etc. I had this inexplicable urge to get this addiction counseling certification and learn about addiction more in depth. I had no clue why I felt so strongly about learning this, but I just knew I had to. I was being guided, and I chose to listen to that guidance. While I completed this 2-year college course, I still drank alcohol and did drugs. I would spend the night with my boyfriend at the time, and we would go to his friends' parties, and of course I loved every second of it because it was socializing, drinking, and smoking cigarettes all at the same time. I felt so good for those few hours. And then those happy feelings disappeared into thin air sooner than I had wished. Chapter 5. Addicted to drugs, alcohol, eating disorder, and negative emotions. This is how I made the shift. The shift started when I changed how I viewed my body and began to find that alignment by eating raw, plant-based foods from nature, such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, a little bit of cooked foods like steamed starch, rice, and quinoa. The foods that I consumed literally became me. Every cell in my body was renewed and regenerated. I remember feeling so blissful and healthy. It was an amazing feeling. This was in May 2013. I will always remember this as the most transformational time in my life. In my dreams at night, I started to see these vivid visions of my higher self. She was and is guiding me. She is my best friend. You have a higher self too. All humans do. You just have to clean out your body so that you're receptive to that sensitive energy, which yearns to connect with you and guide you to what you really want in life. I realize that I am an eternal being worthy of feeling love and joy and bliss. Deeply understanding these truths is what facilitated my interest in the psychology of addiction and going beyond what the textbooks say. Even though I have credentials to work with addicted individuals in drug and alcohol facilities, here's the thing. When you look at the results those treatments and facilities produce, it is evident that the current model is not working. It is ineffective. By the time I was 20, I completed my addiction counseling certification and moved on to work in 2 recovery facilities. However, I saw that it just wasn't working for the women I met there. Granted, it is the one thing to live in a recovery home for a few months and use sheer willpower to stay away from substances, but willpower only takes a person so far. These women looked like they were suffering on the inside. They kept relapsing, and got to an emotional place where it was just torturous because they couldn't get out of that vicious cycle. Their souls and higher selves cried out for alignment because they wanted to feel better but just didn't know how. The issue that I saw was that these women were not really the person they wanted to be. They were holding themselves apart from their desires. Many people do that to themselves. Some are just better at hiding it than others. The root cause for all of this is the feeling of unworthiness, the belief they don't believe what they can have, what they really want. I believe the solution for addiction is quite straightforward. Look for ways to feel better and learn how to self-soothe. That's all one needs to do because that's what an addiction is. A distraction from realizing how misaligned someone is from the true nature of their being. Trying to, quote, fix this misalignment can manifest in many ways. Desiring to purchase another physical item, being addicted to love relationships, hoarding physical items, buying 20 new cars, or binging on foods. This is why relapse rates across different addictions are so high. This is why many people who wake up hungover on a Saturday morning swear they will never drink again. But come next weekend, they choose to drink again and repeat what made them feel horrible the previous week. There is a failure to address the root cause of one's desire to use a substance to begin with. Nearly all therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and social workers are so focused on the physical that there is a blatant disregard of the client's vibrational state of being. And that's why people relapse and repeat their self-harming behavior. Not enough attention is paid to the feelings of lack, unworthiness, not being or doing not enough, etc. These emotions will always bubble to the surface, but some people are just better at hiding it than others. Also, some people just don't want to feel good, so they remain angry all their life and are addicted to chronic feelings of blame, disempowerment, rage, and guilt. Anger as an emotion is a major cause of all diseases, by the way. It causes the organs to tense up, not allowing digestion to occur efficiently. And then the individual wonders why he or she has a health issue such as a deficiency, cancer, premature aging, arthritis, heart disease, and ulcers. Because humans are vibrational beings, it is essential to clean up one's vibration. Towards the end of this book, I outline exactly how to do that. There are 4 topics that I discuss and then provide exercises on how you can clean up your vibration. Remember, things happen from you, not to you. Never be the victim and believe that you are not powerful, because you are. I am living proof of how powerful each of us is. I'm here to give you permission to be selfish and put yourself first. If you don't do it, no one will. You teach people how to treat you. Know your worth. Your living being is worth more than $1 trillion. Feel that abundance flow through you. This is the energy I have accessed. This is how I, quote, recovered from this so-called powerless disease that, quote, plagues people for life. That's nonsense. That is the fallible human interpretation of the living human organism, attempting to make sense of why we do what we do and the inherent desire to pigeonhole people. If you want to heal your addictions, I suggest you adopt a mindset and vibrational state of being that is centered around love, abundance, prosperity, harmony, joy, kindness, and alignment. I am blissful and in such alignment with my emotional, spiritual, and mental purpose that I feel overwhelming joy and satisfaction. I don't need to consume any external source to make me feel good, energized, aligned, and blissful. Addiction is simply a manifestation of misalignment. By misalignment, I mean living up to society's standards or your parents' standards rather than living in accordance with and working towards what your true self desires. Once I began to live my truth and did what made me happy and left everyone else out of the equation, I started to feel empowered, mental clarity, and a beautiful freedom in my soul. The biggest problem with misalignment, unhappiness, and living an unfulfilled life is that we tend to ask each other, what do you think I should do in that situation? Or, do you think I should do this or that? Or what do you think about this? The danger lies in asking people who are out of alignment themselves and not living their own bliss. How could they help you find yours? They can't. No one knows you better than you. So begin trusting yourself again. You are innately wise. It is your birthright to practice this inner wisdom. Chapter 6. How long does it take to become addiction-free? Short answer, mentally it takes 1 second. Physically, it takes about 72 hours for the cells of the body to stop craving the substance. That is not the answer you expected, right? Most people think it takes very long and that it's too hard because they believe they have to learn about the brain, the neurons, behavior, how the brain responds to various drugs, the influence of epinephrine and dopamine and reuptake receptors in the brain. No, that's not true. All you have to do is listen to that beautiful guidance within you. Everything you need is right in your heart. We are all born with this beautiful, wise, internal guidance, and listening to that is all it takes to become addiction-free. Do what feeds your soul. Soothe yourself with feeling good now. Chapter 7. This is how I made the instant decision. By reaching my alignment, by living my inner bliss. I'm sure this sounds airy-fairy, but there's a very practical side to it. I chose to eat in a way that the rest of the population believes is unhealthy or crazy and totally out of the norm. But let me tell you this. The one rule I follow is that I do exactly the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And food is a great place to start with if you want to become addiction-free. I stick to my belief system and what I feel and know in my heart. There is this inner knowingness that what I'm doing is so right for me. It's my inner guide, regardless of external circumstances and what other people might think. I'm sticking to my true self and being true not only to who I am today, but also to who I am becoming. People are so focused only on the what isness of their lives, and that is a huge distraction in order to reach any goal. For example, if you want to change a habit or pattern, then you need to focus on who am I becoming. Stop focusing on who you are right now. It's old news. Focus on who you want to become and tap into that becoming energy. That's where real change happens. Chapter 8. Why addiction is common. Many people do not become the person that life has caused them to be. So, they are living out of alignment with who they really are. By saying, if you were different, then I would feel better. Or, if only you didn't live with me, then I could really achieve my dreams. Or, if I hadn't grown up there, then I would have been able to be more successful. These are some examples of reasons that humans come up with to hold themselves apart from what they really want. This causes mental and physical ailments and a strong feeling of angst in the chest and heart area of the individual. That's why addictions are so common, but it's not just a drug and alcohol addiction that cause problems for people. Anything can turn into an addiction if you are not aligned. Food, gambling, sex, TV, entertainment, these are all easily available substitutes to manifest one's need to self-soothe and distract from inner misalignment. The contrast between what one has experienced in life and what one truly wishes to experience cause inner friction. It feels agitating and lets thoughts of self-doubt creep into the mind. This way, negative emotions can sometimes even manifest into physical disease such as cancer, organ issues, or joint pain. All of these emotions within you occur for a reason, and it's important to listen to them, understand them, and use them to your benefit. That's all. It's really very simple. Chapter 9. This is what causes all addiction. Addiction starts for one reason, misalignment, but continues for another. Your cells have adapted to the source that has been introduced to the body. They crave that substance, and when they don't get it, withdrawal symptoms start to emerge. If you want to heal your addictions, your body needs to wake up. This is the only way you can replace your unhealthy, self-destructive habits with the appreciative and fulfillment that will set your heart and your life free. Until that happens, it will be extremely difficult for you to really feel that alignment with your true self. This is the only way you can replace your unhealthy, self-destructive habits with the appreciation and fulfillment that will set your heart and your life free. Until that happens, it will be extremely difficult for you to really feel that alignment that your true self is calling you to. Only if you listen will you really feel that alignment. Stop listening to what everyone else says and focus on what your heart wants you to do instead. If you continue to listen to other people, you will remain unable to feel happy and most likely remain the passive victim, parading that things happen to you, not from you. But the exact opposite paradigm needs to be adopted if you want to set yourself free. When I switched my mindset, everything changed. I realized that I am an empowered self, an empowered woman. This simple yet profound truth was the basis for everything I have achieved since. It's what I have indoctrinated myself with, and I've learned how to reprogram my subconscious mind. I spent years in my spare time studying, researching, upgrading, optimizing, measuring, altering, changing, learning what works and what doesn't. And it's not just for myself, but for other people too. That's why I have a worldview, an overarching view of other people's experiences, which helps me figure out common denominators. Much as the phrase success leaves clues, there's also truth in addiction leaves clues, and there are common denominators between both. Chapter 10. But can I really change? I believe that anybody can change at any moment. We all have the capacity to do it. That's the beauty of it, and the reason why I'm sharing my story with you. I want to empower you to know you can change too. We are not static beings. We are ever evolving, changing, adapting, upgrading, and optimizing constantly. This is who we are as humans. Just writing about it gives me chills because I've seen what it looks like in this physical realm. The only thing that is required from you, if you want to change, is to make a decision of who you want to be and get behind that decision. When I say get behind, I mean to align with that becoming energy, to basically disregard what is right now in your current physical reality and only pay attention to what you want. Do not let other people discourage you to try this method. I am proof that it works, and you'll be proof of it too. This is your time. This is your life. Stop asking others for their opinions. You have this internal guide, your intuition, and it is your birthright to utilize. Humans are so powerful, and if they just follow that inner bliss and joy, then everything will fall into place. There is a beautiful divine order in which everything that you want will be given to you. Everything. If you just follow that internal guide. It's time to give yourself permission to live your life your way, and people on that same wavelength will join you on that journey. This is what happened to me when I consciously decided to live this life for me alone and leave everyone else's opinions out of the equation. My dad always told me, what other people think of you is none of your business. That statement is very applicable in this case. You are recreating your life, your new story, with intent and purpose. This is exhilarating once you really learn to master this way of going through life. At first, you might feel as if nothing is happening, working, or changing, but after a few minutes to months, the length of time to see results depends on how ready you are to let go of your old story and recreate your new life story. You will see results of your new thought pattern and vibration or emotion based on the state of your health, your thoughts, and the people that enter and leave your life. Your life will begin to feel better to you. You will unconditionally feel good. I have blissful days most of the time. The feelings of love and joy is so liberating to me. You can have this liberation too. This is the high-flying place you will want to get to in order to attract whatever you want in your life. Whether it's money, health, spiritual enlightenment, or something else you desire. Notice I do not mention addiction here. You may be thinking, but Chelsea, this book is about addiction, so why aren't you addressing that the point is to be free of the addiction? Here's why. Because your addiction of choice, that is just a normal desire to self-soothe and distract from your misalignment. Misalignment is caused by not allowing yourself to go in the direction of who life has caused you to become. For example, if you feel a desire to become a writer, to act, to sing, or to travel around the world because your soul craves that freedom, but you choose to not go with your desire for whatever reason, then that is when misalignment occurs and physical ailments will begin. Since we now know that, I want you to focus exclusively on what you want and align yourself with your desires. Do this as often and as much as you possibly can. Start by writing down what it is you want and why you want it. Visualize it as already being done. Imagine that what you desire is already here. This is how you bend time and reality in your favor. Chapter 11, To the Skeptics. If you believe this won't work, then it won't. Let me share with you my experience with skeptics. They typically are unhealthy, unhappy, poor at managing finances, have dysfunctional relationships with others, complain about seemingly everything, and on and on. If you listen to people like this, you will end up just like them. If you want to live a life of bliss, abundance, freedom, and joy, however, then listen to people who are doing that, and you will get those same results. You can apply this scientifically if you want to test it out with your hypothesis to begin with. You will see that what I am saying here is true and will become true and consistent every single time without exception. Chapter 12, Practical Exercise to Feel Better Instantly. Let me repeat this. What your mind focuses on expands. If you focus on the manifestation of your misalignment, in other words, your addiction, then all you will experience in life is more addiction, more of the things you don't want. So to feel better, you will want to focus on gratitude, appreciation, and it looks like this in everyday life. Upon wakening in the morning, write down 5 things you are grateful for. Feel the emotion, feel the appreciation, and feel the feeling of expansion and love. Exude that feeling towards yourself, your pets, strangers on the street, your apartment, your mattress, everything, even as you lay on your bed in the evening before resting your mind and physical body. Appreciate the comfort of your pillow and sheets. Anything you focus on, look at it with appreciation and love. Meditate for 10 minutes every morning by simply focusing on your breath for that period of time. Simply set a timer. This will change your life in the most beneficial way because it will allow you to get your power back. Here are some of the many benefits to daily meditation. You will feel calmness and serenity within your being. The level of your enlightenment will increase by the received intuitive impulses. You will find yourself to be in the right place at the exact right time. You will see synchronicities occurring in your daily life. The perfect people will enter your life when you want them to be there. This helps train your mind to control your thoughts rather than your thoughts controlling you. Chapter 13, Have this mindset and your new life will unfold. Everything is controlled by the mind, which is why it is the new mindset I adopted that changed my life. With power and deliberation, I focused exclusively on what I wanted in life. The question I'm about to ask you may seem slightly odd, but bear with me. Here it is. Do you ever feel you are not good enough? The feeling of not being good enough is very common in our society, and it breaks my heart because we are all worthy beings. Here's the next question that may be running through your mind right now. What the heck does not feeling good enough have to do with addiction? Because of our human nature, we have a tendency towards unconscious self-sabotage when we want to achieve or acquire a particular thing, partner, body, career, etc. In the case of addiction, we desire to feel better and self-soothe, and it's reaching for that quick fix that does it for us. Therefore, it is essential that you reflect on your habits and patterns and examine yourself objectively. By doing this, you become aware of seemingly automatic habitual thought patterns, which have morphed into unhealthy, self-destructive beliefs. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. Notice your thoughts. Create new habitual thoughts, and before you know it, you will have created a whole new belief system for yourself. Here is a list of statements which will soothe you and help beneficially rewire the brain. I am really figuring this whole thing out. I'm doing pretty well in my life so far. I enjoy focusing on what is going well in my life. I like the idea that I can have, be, or do anything that I choose. I like being in alignment with my choices of friends. I like nourishing my physical body with healthy foods. I believe that I can choose better feeling thoughts. I believe that I can choose to be kinder to myself. I like the idea of being here with myself, focusing my energy in this positive way. I like knowing that I am deliberately choosing to get in alignment with who I really am. The only thing that matters is, who am I becoming? Let me tell you that who you are right now is irrelevant. Who you are becoming is what you need to focus on. The change of perspective is what will allow you to change old habits and become the person you want to be in order to live the life of freedom, empowerment, and joy that you desire. With this mindset, you are way ahead of most people out there today. Many people simply have no clue why they aren't able to reach their goals, whether it be a health goal, relationship goal, financial goal, or otherwise. You now have the power to do it. Chapter 14, Nourishing Your Physical Body. What's water got to do with it? Depending on the water content in your foods, you will need to drink a certain amount of pure water. For example, if you eat mostly fresh fruits and vegetables, you will not need to drink as much pure water because of the high water content in the produce. However, if you eat mostly cooked foods where the hydration has been steamed or baked out of the food, then drinking more water is advantageous for you to see best results. Your body needs water to push out old matter at a faster rate, thereby enabling your metabolism to speed up. Here's a short story that perhaps you can identify with. Michelle had headaches, salt cravings, junk food cravings, and she just couldn't seem to gain the energy and vitality she craved. No matter what she did, she always felt tired, sluggish, and overweight. Then she read an article on how important it was to drink plenty of water. The article said if your urine is yellow, you're not drinking enough water and you should drink more. So, Michelle started making an effort to drink plenty of water. She had a glass as soon as she woke up in the morning, and another one mid-morning, and another at lunch, and so forth. Drinking water became a habit for her that stuck for life. Guess why? Because her headaches were gone. She had more energy. She could exercise longer. She wasn't so hungry anymore. She ate less. She felt better. And she lost the weight, all because of a few glasses of water each day. Are you hungry often? Drink a big glass of water and wait 20 minutes. You might be surprised to find your hunger is practically gone. Are you craving salt? It could be simply that you are thirsty. Do you have headaches, poor memory, or feel tired? Again, drink more water. Your body is continuously losing water throughout the day, especially if you are active. It is therefore critical to replace it so that your organs can function effectively and you get the external results you desire. Not only that, water helps energize your muscles, making it easier for you to move around and exercise. Your skin will look better because your kidneys will transport waste out of your body more effortlessly. Keep in mind that larger people often need more water than thinner people. And if you are not sure if you're drinking enough water, look at the color of your urine. It is almost the color of water, then you are doing a good job. Is it dark yellow? You're dehydrated and need to drink a lot more. A word of caution. If you have been chronically dehydrated for a while, then drinking more water can actually make you feel nauseous for the first few hours or days. That's okay because your body is flushing out toxins. Just keep drinking water, and I promise you will start to feel more clarity soon. Some plants are good plants. The plants that revitalize every cell of your body are plants that are made outside in nature. Eat foods that come from a plant, not foods made in a plant. Foods that come from a plant are found in nature, while foods that are made in a plant are made from humans. If not in alignment, humans are extremely fallible and can make certain food taste the way they do. The manufacturers want you to become addicted to their chips, french fries, pizzas, candies, and soda pop. Remember that your body is your temple. Once I began to view my body as my temple, everything changed. I stopped smoking cigarettes and weed. I stopped drinking toxic drinks. I stopped eating processed food that caused me to be overfed but undernourished. Now I eat raw foods, as in raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, sometimes steamed starchy vegetables, and my body is extremely clean inside. If I eat or drink anything that is not from nature, my body responds in a very uncomfortable way. For example, alcohol makes my body swell up and want to expel it. Chewing gum with aspartame gives me a headache within 3 minutes, and eating sauteed and salty vegetables cooked in oil at a high temperature gives me stomach cramps immediately. Putting anything in the body that is not a living nourishment from nature causes emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental clutter. No, thank you. I began eating plant-based foods because I felt this calling towards this way of eating. It's that simple. I wanted to upgrade my body, and I knew intuitively this was how I would do it, and so I did. The level of consciousness that I was beginning to access was one of love, joy, freedom, and expansion, which allowed me to receive thoughts from that same level of consciousness. I needed to clean my body. I needed to clean my liver, kidneys, brain cells, and so on. I knew that I would do that through raw fruits and vegetables, especially lots of leafy green vegetables. The green pigment left in vegetables is called chlorophyll, and that is energy and vitality in its purest form. Simply look outside and you'll see that green plants cover the earth. It is important to focus on appreciation in addition to nourishing your cells with foods from nature, and if nothing else, just eat more leafy green vegetables and smoothies. This is an example of becoming the person life has caused me to be. I felt this unexplainable urge to do a certain thing that I knew would nourish my mind, body, and spirit, so I did it in full alignment with that decision. It's like having a vision during a meditation or contemplative process or lucid dreaming, which is a meditative process of understanding that this physical realm is actually a dream, and it is a, quote, reality to anyone who is the perceiver. It depends on who the perceiver is, and if we, as the receivers of information, don't think a thought, but the thought actually comes to us, almost as though we are on the same vibrational frequency as that thought. This is also referring to different levels of consciousness, which is our ability to receive a particular thought. Eating plant-based foods allows one to access thoughts at a higher frequency and one's consciousness to resonate with feelings of love, expansion, joy, bliss, freedom, and clarity, rather than fear, depression, and guilt, which most people are in tune with because they are unable to control their minds. They allow their thoughts to think them and don't understand the impact that thoughts have. Often these people will eat mostly packaged food that the body does not recognize, and then the body does not know how to respond, causing all sorts of emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental problems. The main objective I hear is, but what will I eat? There are several recipes that you can create and items you can buy from the grocery store that taste absolutely wonderful. Simply use our friend Google and search easy, healthy, plant-based recipes. You will be surprised by the search results. You can make pasta, yogurt, ice cream, pizza, stir-fry, curry, sushi, and so on. Here is a chocolate ice cream recipe that I make often, even with coconut whipped cream. Blend 3 frozen ripe bananas, 3 tablespoons of cocoa or cacao powder. Cacao powder is raw. Cocoa powder is roasted. Either one is fine. 2 tablespoons of almond butter, a 1/4 cup of almond milk, and then blend this in a high-speed blender or a food processor. And you will have the most delicious creamy chocolate ice cream. Here is the recipe for the whipped cream. 1 can of full-fat coconut milk stored in the refrigerator overnight with 2 tablespoons of liquid sweetener of your choice, such as honey or maple syrup. Blend that in a high-speed blender and serve on top of the ice cream. It literally tastes like having your, quote, cake and eating it too. Or in this case, having your ice cream and eating it too. The experience is absolutely euphoric. Chapter 15. Follow your spiritual calling. Follow your spirit and allow it to guide you. This is the, quote, secret that nobody talks about. Your spirit is so beautiful and perfect. You are born with this internal guide, and that is the beautiful essence of life. If you follow your spirit and heart, everything in your life will unfold in perfect divine order. It is really very simple. The huge issue I see when I speak about this is individuals will typically over-intellectualize what I say or try to incorporate the brain into this. Here's the thing. Our brain and heart interfere because the brain is meant to help you survive, not to help you feel happy and fulfilled. The brain stimulates thoughts of fear and survival, wanting you to stay in your comfort zone. It doesn't want you to go out into a new situation or meet new people or be vulnerable. The brain is meant to help you survive, and that is how we have evolved. If you listen to your heart, it provides you with the feeling of love and expansion rather than fear and contraction. Listening to the spirit and heart is how to experience bliss. The spirit and heart are the drivers of all of that. Chapter 16. Process to change your beliefs. Have you ever wanted to make a change in your life but didn't really know where to start? A healthy diet or relationship or career change? Maybe the change didn't seem natural to you, or it felt way too hard to actually make that change. Let me ask you a question. Before deciding to make this change, what was your expectation about how easy or difficult it would be to succeed? Well, this is what most personal development teachers don't tell you. Your expectation creates your experience. Your expectation is created by your belief. Your belief is created by your patterns of thought. This is very powerful. Here's the good news. A belief is only a thought you keep thinking, and you can change it. Here's a practical exercise to change your belief. Start by writing down a general statement about the particular change you would like to make. Let's say you want to be in a healthy, loving, and emotionally intimate relationship, but your belief is that you won't find the right partner. First, write down what you want. For example, I want to be in a healthy, loving, and emotionally intimate relationship. Even if you don't believe it is possible, stay with me here. Next, you will want to write down a general statement that is more believable to you. For example, there are areas of my life where things are going okay. There are some things working out for me. I remember a time when I met someone who made me feel cared for. I think I could find that again. You see, these statements provide some relief and you are slightly distracted from your old belief. Now you will write down something like this to increase your belief even more. Some ideas for meeting my perfect mate will come to me. I like the idea of being in a healthy, loving, and emotionally intimate relationship. It's fun to be on this journey towards meeting someone great. I like the idea of knowing that I am a freedom-seeking being that is worthy of love and joy. I like the idea of being in a relationship with someone who cares for me. I am really looking forward to seeing how this unfolds. Now, what we just did is gradually wrote down statements that contribute to the process of changing your belief. These statements bring you closer to what you want. If you expect to find a mate who is healthy, loving, and exciting, then you will meet someone just like that. If you expect to find a mate who isn't really exactly what you want, but you'd rather be with someone than be alone, then you will end up with a partner who fits that exact criteria too. The decision is yours. By gradually shifting your beliefs and engaging in this exercise often enough, your brain will begin to automatically rewire itself in such a way that you will begin to see the evidence of this everywhere you go. Chapter 17. Receive your vibrant health. Your right to have true health and well-being. In this chapter, I will share with you how to discover and receive lasting, vibrant health and how to experience your right to feel true well-being. You can replace every single cell in your body within 1 year without exception. All you have to do is provide the optimal vibrational environment conducive to this transformation. Now, healing can happen over time, slowly and gradually, or it can happen all at once. There are two influential factors that determine the health and well-being of an individual. One, the intensity of the desire, precision, and momentum of the desire. And two, the proximity of the belief to the expectation of the desire. So, if you have an extremely strong desire to be well and a strong expectation that it will happen, that will create instantaneous healing. However, if there is only a slight desire and a slight belief, then it will happen gradually. If the strong desire and strong doubt are present in the individual, this will equal tension and stress. in which the dramatic and sudden physical occurrences will happen. Healing can be taken to a more general place of simply coming into alignment with who you really are, feelings of love and appreciation, and what you really want, which is your particular desire. Putting healing into this context, you'll be able to focus on the desired well-being while feeling less resistant along the way. Something to note here is that the word heal connotes that you want to overcome something and that your attention is focused on what you want to overcome. This can contribute to you focusing on what you don't want rather than on what you do want. So I suggest to be aware of this tendency. You must allow what you want. When you focus on what you want your body to feel and be like, this allows positive emotions to enter various levels of your consciousness. The four main components that will contribute to your wellness are desire, belief, expectation, and knowing. The cells in your body are all pure positive energy cells, and they are working in order to preserve themselves. They are at the first point of the summoning of life force, and the cellular indicator of your well-being are the emotions that you feel. Take the emotional journey and allow the cells to receive what they have been asking for. Well-being is the basic nature of the body. Simply allow and receive it. The feeling of vibrant health can be yours, and your cells know exactly how to be well and what corrections to do. If you trust in this process, you will become well again. The influence of the human mind is what determines how the cells behave. The cells know what they need, and they are asking from the direct source of life. And if you don't get in the way of that process, they will recover. Once this happens, you are going to feel refreshed and vibrant. The trick is knowing how to do that when you are hurt and labeled to have something, which is your ailment, that someone gave you, just a name. You have to separate yourself from what others think about you and the various labels they have given to you. They are merely human constructs, and you do not have to accept them as, quote, true. It is up to you to decide whether you want to feel hopeful or afraid. Soothe yourself with hope, faith, and trust. This allows well-being to begin to come about. Put simply, here you are with a bodily ailment or condition that you want to heal. Out of the uncomfortable experience, you now have a loud and clear desire. A surgeon says, let's do this and it will help. Or here's an herb that is good for that. Your belief in them caused you to allow your wellness. Allow your feel-good emotions, which are hope, faith, empowerment, belief, clarity, trust, to come first, and then everything else will fall into place in the most perfect way for you. Chapter 18, Receive Your Money, Your Right to Have Financial Abundance. In this chapter, you will discover how to receive the money that is yours and expect a financially abundant life. The reason that this topic is in this book is that it is extremely difficult to feel joy, bliss, and freedom if you are in financial distress. This book is written to support your life holistically. You are a diverse being with many areas of life. Therefore, finances must be addressed in order for you to experience the results you desire. Know these two things. You can be, do, or have anything that you choose, and there is an unlimited amount of resources available for you. There are no limits for you if you learn to control your thoughts away from your current way of life toward the life you want. You have the power to focus, and that is the power that creates worlds. This is the innate power of your mind. Know that your desire contributes to the expansion of this universe, and you are a powerful creator. There is so much you can do to manifest money. Money is simply energy, and you can attract this energy. There is just one caveat. Be playful about the money you want. Don't try too hard. Don't try to force it. When you know what you want and why you want it, but you get caught up in the how it is going to unfold, who is going to bring it, who is going to be there, you will face resistance and all of this self-doubt. Those questions don't have answers to them, and you don't need to become aware of them in order to get what you want. If you just state why you want the money and stay focused on your desire, then you can allow it to come to you in any way possible. It will come fast. The major point is to be aware of how you actually feel about money. If you want it to manifest in your life, a light-hearted and playful attitude will speed things up for you. It might be easier for you to start with a simpler manifestation prior to going straight to your finances, because many people tend to have various attachments linked to money, which is not productive. When you stay focused upon what you want playfully and without force, it will always be given to you. Here is a practical manifestation exercise to practice your power. Try manifesting butterflies. Be playful about the desire for butterflies to manifest in your life and see how the universe responds to your desires. Butterflies will show up while you are on a walk, sit in your car, or on your way to work. The possibilities are really endless. Have fun with this game so that you can begin to appreciate the power that you hold. Here's how to do this. Step 1. Think to yourself, it is my expectation I will see butterflies. Step 2. Think of the emotions you will feel once you see the butterflies. Step 3. Release the desire and continue on with your day. My experience with the first manifestation. Practicing my innate powers has been a primary desire for me. I've always wanted to feel empowered, joyful, powerful, loved, and free in my life. So I decided to put my skills to the test and see if I could manifest white and gray feathers. I practiced the 3-step process that I outlined above, and within 2 days, I saw over 20 feathers. They would show up while I was on my nightly walk near the water, on the sidewalk while I was running my errands, on my front lawn. They showed up everywhere. Then I decided to practice manifesting butterflies to make sure that the feather manifestation wasn't just a fluke. Again, within 2 days, I had butterflies flying around my front lawn above the white and gray feathers. Next, I wanted to use the same process to manifest a new home with white interior. I used the same process again, and within weeks, I was living in a new home with white interior. Everything I've ever wanted is now flowing into my life so fast that I can hardly keep track of what is happening. Sometimes I just want to pinch myself to see if all this is just a dream. This manifestation power is utterly incredible. Would you like to experience the joy of knowing that you also can manifest anything you desire and then make it happen in this physical reality? Well, you can. This works for you if you follow this proven step-by-step process. What you want wants you. The most productive thing you could do to get everything you want is to do things that feel good to you and know that your life is meant to be unfolding perfectly with abundance everywhere. This is the art of allowing, not the art of trying. You are so worthy, and once you begin to believe in your ability to receive, you will begin to feel worthy. Once that belief sets into place, and once you show yourself the simple process of getting into sync with what you want, you will find that you are so powerful, smart, and worthy, and the universe will deliver to you. Then you will start to enjoy your aligned, clear-minded, receptive life. Allow yourself to feel this freedom and playfulness, and positive people, circumstances, and events will be attracted to you. Even better, you will realize that you are often in the right place at the right time and that things are unfolding perfectly. Question: Chelsea, how exactly do I get money effortlessly? Answer: you have to let your mind show you that there must be more to the economic system than what meets the eye. After all, there are a lot of people working really hard and not becoming prosperous, and there are a lot of people who don't work that hard who become very prosperous. The world's response to this is, let's take this limited amount of resources and split it equally among the masses, without realizing that it wouldn't be long before the quote pot would be right back to where it was to begin with. And here's why. The universe is based on attraction, and at the vibrational level, different people attract different things. Let's say you would like an extra $700,000 right away. Many people have the expectation that $700,000 won't come to them today. For that reason, today isn't the day, every day, because this core belief resonates within the individual. There's too much resistance for the money to come in. By saying, I feel free to choose. I feel free that nobody else creates my own reality. I feel free because I establish my point of attraction and everything responds to that. I feel prosperous and powerful with who I am. You can shift the way you feel toward prosperity. If you do this often enough, you will be held in that emotional place where the physical manifestations have to flow into your life. By embracing that feeling of freedom, or however else money makes you feel, the manifestation will follow because this is the way the universe works. Before you know it, you will turn your thoughts and feelings into money through inspired action. You will see that I have a chapter on inspired action coming up shortly in this book, so you can fully understand how to take action in your life to get where you want to be. Why many people don't get what they want. Most people do not get what they want because they are too focused on their current physical reality and on what they don't want. You have the power to focus on what you want and to literally conjure up exactly that. A common paradigm in society is a shortage consciousness around money and time. For money, there is not enough for us all, and time, I don't have enough. If you notice yourself thinking these thoughts, let them pass and replace them with the affirmations written below. These are the affirmations I say every morning. Based on the results, they have served me very well, and I expect they will do the same for you. Feel free to come up with more as well. If these don't resonate with you, write down some that do. I like being in alignment with who I really am. There is enough time for all things I wish to do today. Money comes easily to me. It is my right to feel deserving, free, wealthy, prosperous, fresh, new, confident, powerful, clarity, worthy, and satisfied. I understand that the laws of the universe are stable, benevolent, and my understanding of them serves me. I love being efficient with my time. I love the feeling of focusing my attention on that sweet spot of well-being. I do it for the feeling now, not the evidence it produces later. I love inspired action. I like moving towards the things I want. I love to feel the momentum. I love accessing the energy that creates worlds. I like the results I get from alignment. This lighter and lighter feeling that I'm feeling is manifestational evidence that I have come into my own power. I can feel that if I continue this, more inspired action will be taken. I can feel this feeling, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing, so more is inevitable. I am doing this to receive what I'm already feeling. I am in my power and I can leave and come back, so it's no big deal. I love money because it is another form of prosperous energy. My true nature is abundance. I can feel when I'm lining up with the laws of the universe. The money is yours. By focusing on anything that you want, you will receive amazing intuitive ideas on who to call, where to go, what to sell, what to buy. Now that you are receiving these new ideas, more and more will keep happening. This is known as living in the flow. It is blissful. Living life from this place of possibility and belief is exhilarating and the source of all growth and expansion. Albert Einstein knew this. By leveraging this powerful way of thinking, your world will quickly mold into exactly what you want. Do not face reality, create reality. You are a creator. Focus on the feeling of prosperity, and your money will come from all different people, places, and circumstances. Chapter 19. Receive your loving relationships. Your right to have the relationships you want. In this chapter, I will share with you how to receive the loving relationships that you truly desire. The reason that this topic is in this book is that it is extremely difficult to feel joy, bliss, and freedom if you feel there is a lack of loving relationships in your life. If this world has created a desire within you, it has the ability to deliver it to you. Know these two things. You can have this relationship you want, and freedom, growth, and joy are your natural state. This is a different perspective on relationships than you most likely previously heard. Here we go. When people think of a loving relationship, they think of happy couples together and then completing each other as though the individuals were incomplete before meeting. This is the reason why many people in relationships develop feelings of resentment, hostility, disappointment, confusion, infidelity, and unhappiness. The key to experiencing the perfect loving relationship is to feel complete before meeting anyone. Love, the feeling of love, in the moment you are loving, you are in perfect alignment with your true self. The word love, thoughts of love, and the emotion of love are the indicator of your alignment. It can be applied to your various relationships, to an activity, to anything that you spend your time thinking about or doing. Why do some people tend to cling to the relationship with their partner? Many people hold on to the relationship because they are not in touch with their own sense of alignment. The thought pattern will go something like this. For example, I haven't yet figured out how to feel good by myself, so I will express conditional love and focus on what makes me feel good when I look at my partner. He or she is the object of my attention. Why does it feel so good at the beginning of a relationship? Both individuals are in alignment and happy because they discover more and more about each other, and they are both hoping to receive what they each want. So, both of them are in a place of alignment in the beginning because they are positively and expectantly trying to find the best attributes in the other person. By looking for the best in each other, they are aligning with their true self, which always looks for the best in all people. This is why it feels so good. What happens is that each person depends on the other to feel good because they remember how and when their partner made them feel good. And so they are hanging on to that dream or vision, wanting to be their partner's object of attention for the rest of their lives. And the closest thing that reminds them of this feeling was that brief time in the beginning. It's no wonder why they are in for a big, disappointing surprise months later when reality sets in and they realize that the other person is just as flawed as they are. The only way to avoid that disappointment is to get consciously aware of the fact that only we can make ourselves feel good when we are in alignment with our true self. Don't put your partner in a position to make you happy because he or she will never be able to accomplish that for you. Many people say, I need you to act differently so that I can feel better. This puts you in the most impossible and powerless position because you are giving someone else the job to do what only you can do for yourself. A relationship becomes blissful when you allow your primary relationship to be with yourself and your alignment. This needs to happen before anything else. When you are in alignment with your true self and feel love and appreciation for yourself, you will meet someone who is equally aligned. That kind of a relationship works magically because you aren't asking the other one to do your work. Instead, when you both do your work and feel positive emotion consistently, you can joyously co-create. What if I don't like my current relationship? Well, you don't have to leave your current relationship just yet. It's the same with everything else in your life. Relationships grow and expand with each passing day. Right here, in the middle of your relationship, you are creating various desires which your true self is lining up for you. Simply reach for thoughts that feel better. Come into alignment with that, and your relationships can continue to be as fresh and as new as you are. Sure, you could leave the relationship if you want, but you'll be taking yourself with you. In other words, you will be carrying, quote, baggage from that old relationship into the new one. Most people do that. You don't want to be like most people because you are different. You are special. You are able to focus your mind towards good feeling thoughts. It is best for you to feel good right now and allow everything else to take care of itself. Everything starts with how you're feeling, and feeling good is the quickest way to your dream relationship. What is a soulmate? A soulmate is someone who has the same vibrational intention as you do. Everyone on the planet is your soulmate in one way or another. When you meet someone who truly resonates with your being, you can feel it. You could even say that it feels like coming home. When you meet someone of the same non-physical essence that you are, if you are vibrationally up to speed with your true self at that same time and the other person is too, then the result is a powerful connection. But the connection you are feeling is about the relationship you have with yourself. That's it. When you meet someone who makes your heart sing, you could say that this person is your vibrational equivalent. The most self-aware soulmates will align with their true selves first and then desire to experience this alignment with another person. Chapter 20, Your Inspired Action. In this chapter, I will share with you the process of applying inspired action in order to reach your goal quickly and easily. If you are feeling exhausted putting in the physical effort, you need to realign with your birthright of wellness, abundance, health, prosperity, and unconditional happiness. Operating exclusively on the thought level will, over time, exhaust you and leave you with a myriad of health, mental, and emotional challenges. Using only your physical action to create momentum, i.e., progression, is tiresome and often causes you to feel burnt out and drained. When you take inspired action, however, you allow in your well-being and the flow of life. You will feel constant replenishment flowing through your veins, and you will experience a form of action that will invigorate rather than exhaust you. This is how you will get whatever you want quickly and easily. By taking more inspired action, your life will unfold in the most perfect way. There is immense power when you realize for the first time that you are in true alignment with who you really are. The energy it creates for you to take inspired action toward what it is that you desire will change all areas of your life, whether that is your health, financial, personal development, or relationship goals. Inspired action helps you to find your thoughts easily. You have already created the results with your desire. This is a matter of coming into your own sense of well-being and worthiness now. Find your alignment by feeling emotions of love and appreciation first, because alignment produces massive results, which will remind you of the power that you possess. Question: what exactly is inspired action, and how could it help me get what I want in life quickly and easily? Answer: inspired action is the feeling that you get after coming into alignment with who you really are, which is love. Examples of those blissful feelings are empowerment, intent, joy, power, bliss, love, eagerness, and determination. After having these higher consciousness thoughts and feelings, you will be inspired to take actions which bring you closer to your life goal. All brilliant thinkers who have ever existed knew this and utilized it to their advantage. You can too. Examples of inspired action could be to call your business partner to sign a deal, to brush your niece's hair like you have been meaning to for a while, to go to the car dealership to buy that new black Audi sports car, or to move around furniture in your house that caused you to meet this handsome furniture mover, or to start eating a certain food that you remember someone once told you is beneficial for weight loss. When you take inspired action, you will feel the universe yielding to your desires in the most perfect ways. This is how to leverage the power of the universe to your advantage, enabling you to get whatever you want quickly and easily. The uplifting thoughts and emotions that will flow to you and through you will surpass any action you have discovered in terms of physical extrinsic motivational action. Living an inspired life full of freedom and joy is what we all want. By doing this, it allows you to access your true power and potential and live happily ever after. Exercise for taking inspired action. Identify how you want to feel, even if you don't feel that way right now. Write down how you want to feel and focus on things that make you feel that particular way. Example: Step 1. I want to feel energized. Step 2. The things that make me feel energized are knowing that I have a bright future, remembering that I am a powerful creator who can make anything possible, knowing that by the power of my focus I can get what I want easily because people, circumstances, and events will be drawn into my experience. Step 3. Feeling the energy rush through my body. Feel these good feelings, emotions, and never look back. What will happen as you go about your day is feeling good ideas, thoughts, and impulses will begin to come to you. Take action on this. Always look forward where you are headed and towards what you want and how you want to feel. That is how to have the universe on your side. That is the power that creates worlds. Most people, however, don't have access to that kind of leverage because they don't understand it or believe it doesn't work. From personal experience, I can tell you that once I began utilizing these tools of self-belief and inspired action, nothing was ever the same again. Miracles began to enter my life in the most satisfying way. Moving from confusion and disempowerment to clarity and self-empowerment is what facilitates the process of getting whatever you want to flow into your life quickly and easily. Things are working out for you, and you are so loved. Chapter 21. You can do this. Create your dream life. I know you can because I did. I went from feeling nearly suicidal to absolute bliss. That is a very powerful transformation. Just give yourself the permission and access the power. And own it. Own your power. You do have the power within you to do that. I can't wait to share the contents of this chapter with you so that you can really see the power within you unfold as we discover this beautiful ability together. I have used this method to create every single thing I have in my life right now, so let's get into it. In order to get exactly what you want, you first need to know what you want. Ask yourself, what do I want? It's a really simple question, but oftentimes people forget what they want. So let me repeat, what do you want? Think about your answer as if money wasn't an issue and if you knew you couldn't fail. For example, when I first started learning how to create my dream life, I really wanted to lose weight and have a healthy, vibrant body. That was my step one. What is your step one? Step two, imagine you have already done it and that it is already here. You feel the feelings of it being done, almost as if it's old news. So instead of yearning for something outside of you, you know it's already been done. What now? That feeling of expectation or old news is what creates your dream reality. When I wanted to lose weight, I imagined that I had already achieved my dream body, that I already looked like the person I wanted to be. When I looked in the mirror, I already saw the person I wanted to see. I would literally just visualize in my mind exactly what I wanted to look like, and I would imagine that it had already happened. Step 3, do the things that this person would do. The final step is interesting and requires imagination and the ability to travel in time. I've traveled into the future several times in order to achieve my goals in health, wealth, and happiness. What did that look like in terms of my weight loss? I asked myself, okay, Chelsea, so the person that you want to look like, how much would she eat? What types of foods would she eat? How would she exercise? What are her daily habits to stay healthy and joyful and happy? So if a healthy physical body is on your agenda too, for example, ask yourself the same question. What would my healthy, energetic, happy future me do in that situation? Whatever answers you come up with, follow through on them and don't hesitate for a minute. I have done this mental time travel exercise many times and I'm here to tell you that it works. Not convinced yet? Let me give you another example. My boyfriend and I met because I visualized him. When we met, I felt the feelings of already having met him. I embodied feelings of warmth, love, power, confidence, certainty, clarity, expectation, and prosperity. All good things that I have experienced in the last 4 years are the result of that feeling of vibrant health, happiness, freedom, feeling so good most of the time, feeling clarity and empowerment. Times when I don't feel good, I feel very off, and I focus to get back on track because it doesn't feel good to feel bad. Your number one job is to look for reasons to feel good, and your life will begin to unfold in the most perfect way. You can do this. Chapter 22, my final words to you. You have the choice to choose uplifting thoughts or distressing thoughts. Your natural state is to celebrate life and your eternal nature. Give your full attention to where you are and who you are right in this very moment. Your greatest ally in overcoming your addictions are positive, uplifting thoughts. For that reason, let me share with you a practical strategy on how to stop negative thoughts. It is important that you gain back the control and power over those thoughts so that they don't hold the control and power over you anymore. This strategy is very powerful and very simple. First, you have to be aware of the thoughts you are thinking. Second, say out loud, I love you. Now you may think this sounds crazy and it's not going to work, or that it sounds too good to be true. I'm asking you to throw all of those objections out the window. The job of this book is to get you the results. That's my job. And I know this works because this strategy has given me results, someone who has experienced years of endless self-criticism and negativity. When I went on a walk recently, I noticed the negative thoughts crept into my mind, so I said out loud, I love you. And what followed was the most beautiful transformation that I've ever experienced in my heart. Why is speaking those 3 words out loud so effective? It's because they alter your consciousness and the thoughts you think. As a result, other like-minded, positive thoughts are attracted to that same level of consciousness. From the vibrational frequency perspective, the consciousness of love and appreciation are extremely high, while self-criticism, fear, and depression are very low. You are able to detect your frequency by how you feel. Positive emotions are at a higher frequency, negative emotions are at a lower frequency. If you vibrate at a lower frequency, you will attract people, circumstances, and things of that same frequency. That's why it's so important to think loving and appreciative thoughts if you want to drastically improve your physical reality. The treasure chest that you've been waiting for is here. It is within you, and it always has been. Know that well-being is your natural state. Every time you think a thought that serves your well-being, you will feel the invincible truth of it, right to the innermost core of who you are. Have fun with your thoughts and be lighthearted about this process of observing and then directing them. Much like learning to ride a bike, learning to control your thoughts will get easier with practice. Life is meant to be joyful for you, so enjoy the process. You are freedom, you are joy, you are love. Thank you so much for listening, and I really appreciate that you're still here. I want to tell you that writing this book for me was one of the greatest joys of my life so far. And really, I love empowering you. I love empowering you with this knowledge and helping you realize the infinite being that you really are. So thank you so much for listening to this audiobook, and please give this video a thumbs up and comment below on what you thought of it. Thank you. I'm sending my love your way.